If you find yourself in the darkness, you might just be the light. It's your boy, Mr. Meyer, with the fire, here to share ideas and take our vibration higher. And I'm sending love to each and every one of you from the depths of my soul, because today we're talking about the dark night of the soul. And what is the dark night of the soul? The dark night of the soul is the experience of transformation in the trip to the underworld. Before we go any further, we charge and consecrate our incense with the energy of Chiron and Scorpio to bring healing, integration, and resolution to all parts of our consciousness across all timelines, dimensions, and spaces for the best and highest good of all with harm to none. And so it is. And we call upon the divine, the goddess God, the great spirit, the three in one, the one in three, as it was, as it is, as it ever shall be, to guide and protect us on our mission as we understand our true will. What you really got to understand is the fastest way to get to Pluto is through your Mars. And if you are too focused, too passionate, too intensely driven towards any goal, you run the risk of separating yourself from the world and yourself, burning out, crushing yourself. The dark night of the soul feels like death, and it is. That's transformation. And lament not for the dead, because he or she who takes birth and dies will sure to be taking birth again. And that's from the Bhagavad Gita. It's a very beautiful book. So I just wanted to say that if you're going through it, which chances are you are, if you're watching this video, under the transit of Lilith and Leo, you're about to start your golden era. And that's literally the thing right after the dark night of the soul. And that's very beautiful. Many of us kind of forget about the soul when it comes to being and existing. The soul is the non-tangible part of our existence that dictates our growth. And from the ego's perspective, pain and suffering is very shitty. But from the soul's perspective, this is all fertilizer. This is all lessons and things to acknowledge. This feels like not having your needs met. The dark night of the soul is very great at adjusting your values, helping you understand your true necessities of being and how to actually nourish yourself. This gives me the concept of polarity, that you wouldn't know up if you didn't know down. And to reach the highest highs, you must go to the lowest lows. And failure will teach you more than success ever could. So get excited. All of us need healing and resolution in our consciousness, because we descend into matter from source, from spirit. And that's a trip. Let me tell you guys. I don't think I have to tell you, because you're here on Earth. And that's a motherfucker in itself. The challenge is, how do we find the beauty? How do we rise above the experiences that we're having, to see them from a bird's eye view, the soul's perspective, to stop identifying with the strife and suffering? If you forget everything I say in this video, remember this. Gratitude transcends all suffering. Gratitude transcends all suffering. You can't take anything personal in this life. You can't take anything personal. Stop asking why me. Start asking why not me. Pain is strength. There is no gain without pain. So the chapter we're all in, at least at this time, and this is a timeless video if you really think about it, is learning to love and appreciate the transformative powers of pain. Because the soul doesn't judge you like you judge yourself as an ego. The soul doesn't know good or bad. It doesn't dictate growth like that. Your emotional memory and your mental body will help you decide as a human whether or not you like or dislike your experiences. So when you're going through that dark night of the soul, and really what this looks like is depression, despondency, pain, fear, even anger, resentment, feeling closed off from the entire world, and like the sun disappeared. That's the dark night of the soul. Waking up excruciatingly hurt, and then living your day with the lights on, but nobody's actually home inside the body, and then waking up and doing that over and over again. It's rough, and a lot of us go through that. And the problem is, our suffering can make us feel isolated. And before Saturn in Pisces starts this month, I want you to really understand the value of sacrifice. And I want you to really understand the value of pain and its transformative powers, because it's very beautiful. Your ability to feel pain is intimately, even diametrically connected to your ability to feel love. You can't have sunshine with no rain. If you had no rain and all sunshine, all the trees and the plants would die, and by extension, you would die, and all life would die. That would be a bummer, dude. So, I'm gonna remind you, gratitude transcends all suffering. We're gonna take a second to just vibrate in this energy and realize what the gift is. Death, Ace of Pentacles. Because the moral of this story is reconciliation and balancing. And I'm here to speak love, life, and principle into each and every one of you who's viewing this video. One of the problems when it comes to the dark night of the soul is that we don't actually understand our true responsibilities, and therefore we overburden ourselves with things that we have no business doing, and only natural that we feel crushed afterwards. And that's kind of shitty. Speak of the devil right underneath it. This is Saturn in Sagittarius. This is Saturn energy on the devil. So you just got to realize that nobody can hold you back besides yourself. And that's really hard to hear, and sometimes what people don't want to admit or accept whenever they feel like a victim of their own circumstance. You got to realize that you put yourself in this position, and therefore you can put yourself out of it. Pain is hard. Trauma is real. Trauma affects your nervous system. So I need you to understand that some of y'all who are traumatized and going through the dark night of the soul are holding yourself to standards that are unreachable. Listen, think about this. Take time to think about if trauma affects your nervous system. You don't even know how your trauma affects you because it affects your nervous system. I'm not trying to turn up and be a dick. My fire Mercury's turning on, but make it make sense. Think about it. So when you're healing, you need to give yourself grace and compassion and patience and paint the sun back into your sky, however long it takes, as you're fighting through your own demons and separating your demons from the demons of everybody else. Because we all have issues in life. We all have problems. And the funny thing is, your life would suck without problems. I promise you. You'd be absolutely bored, and you'd fuck up perfection in utopia because you're so bored. Not even kidding. So you don't want to get rid of your problems, dude. Make that abundantly understood in your soul. You want to get new problems, more exciting problems, and you want to reconcile the problems you're tired of. It's that simple. For your heart to stop hurting, you got to get right with yourself. That's the simple fact. Is that you create your reality. You are the sole creator of your universe, your reality, what's real IT, your beliefs, your perceptions filter your experience. So, my friend, it's time for you to become the higher self and make better choices. Quite honestly, get your priorities right. Call upon spirit if you feel lost, because this life is bigger than just you. And I say that not to insult your ego. I say that to remind you that help is always available. Reach out to spirit. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Every single one of us is the embodiment of lineage, and this means we have ancestors and spirit guides, and we would do well to venerate them energetically so they can venerate us. Do you guys want a video on that? Because that's a whole other video in itself, but you need to be asking for help so you can receive. Deal with the pain that's in your heart, and also understand from the soul's perspective, what is my life really about? Because there can be a discrepancy between what you think your life is about and what your life is actually about. My question from the bottom of my Libra moon heart and the top of my Pluto and Sagittarius soul for you is, who the fuck do you think you are? And I mean this genuinely with love. I don't give a damn who you think I think you are or who you think other people think you are. Who the fuck do you think you are? You define your life. You dictate growth for yourself. You have to do right by your own understanding. Yes, in this world, Saturn Libra energy, we have to meet others and interact and cooperate. That's the name of the game. Teamwork makes the dreamer. But at the end of the day, if you don't know thyself, you can't know anything else. So you have to take time to listen to the lesson. And sometimes, guys, the only way to go through it is to go through it. What I mean is that what you resist will persist by virtue of your resistance. So you need to take time to stop distracting yourself. Sit with the source of your pain. Sit with the pain. Feel the pain. Breathe love into the pain. And say out loud, thank you, universe, for giving me pain. Thank you for giving me pain, which teaches me how to love, which teaches me my values, and teaches me to protect my gifts. Thank you for the pain. This is the Mars and Scorpio energy, which really talks about the intentions of the soul. Do your conscious methods of security seeking get circumvented by your unconscious methods? That's something to think about. You hold the power, but only you can harness it and channel it appropriately by wisdom. That's the three rays, love, power, and wisdom. So it's time for you to nourish yourself if you're going through that dark night, and just understand the golden era is coming way faster than you think, because The upward spiral can feel like shit as you encounter the resistance that keeps you stuck on a low vibration. Let me tell you guys, until you realize the gift and give gratitude, you may just keep suffering. I'm gonna remind you, gratitude transcends all suffering. So you need to be able to appreciate the fruits of your labor and be very patient. Saturn, Pisces energy. You can't reap the fruit in the same season that you plant the seed. So you need to wait. You need to plant lovingly, wait patiently, and then reap that shit later without complaining. Because when you complain, you block your motherfucking blessings. The universe looks at you like, damn, I'm going to give this to somebody else who appreciates it. Think about it. So this Saturn Pisces energy, which we're going to be experiencing this year for the next 3 years, talks about understanding the value of sacrifices. Some of us love to give. And that's one of the most beautiful things in the world. Let me tell you, as a Virgo rising, damn near nothing feels better than being able to help other people. But some of us are so empathic, so sensitive, so conscious that we try to rob other people of their suffering and their pain. And this interrupts their growth. And you do a disservice to both of you. So get your responsibilities in order and embody your true mission. Love is not love if you don't have the will to protect it. You got to balance your masculine and feminine energies, man. So on that note, you see what I'm saying? We're going to call on Chamunda, Kalima, to help us with our path. I love you guys from the bottom of my heart, and I'm going to sign off right after this, okay? Om Aim Hrim Krim Chamundaye Vichye Namah. Om Aim Hrim Krim Chamundaye Vichye Namah. Om Kalima. Call on Mahakali anytime for anything if you're ready to embody your true will. Om Aim Hrim Krim Chamundaye Vichye Namah. Om Aim Hrim Krim Chamundaye Vichye Namah. Om Aim Hrim Krim Chamundaye Vichye Namah. Om Kalima. It only takes one decision to change your life. Don't ever forget it. You're in control. I love you from the depths of my soul.